Question number 5 is a two-part question. Mr. Glenn, question number 5. List 2 specific plans to lower our national debt. State your position on illegal immigration.
I said earlier that a lot of these questions you're going to have the same answers to, and this is going to be an example of that. For example, the way we create the national debt is not to try and divvy up the existing pie, but to make the pie bigger. That's the beauty of the free enterprise system. If we let it run, if we don't regulate and tax it to death, the pie can get bigger. For example, as I indicated, we need to pass a national right-to-work law. We need to drill, baby, drill. We have an estimated 1 trillion barrels of oil, either in oil or shale oil, in the United States. That's more than the other 10 oil-producing countries in the world combined. We could actually sell oil to Saudi Arabia and tell Iran to go pound their ample supply of sand and be free and independent, and use the money, the proceeds of selling our domestically produced oil to pay off our debt. We ought to cut taxes. My son, who is a homeschool debate champion, was prepping me on the drive down and reminded me that in every single case the capital gains tax, for example, has been reduced. The result has been an increase in government revenue. So cut or eliminate taxes to grow our economy and therefore pay off the debt. I also would support the Connie McPenny plan. We can get into that a little bit more in detail if necessary later. Cut specific agencies. We talked about that: education, energy, labor, National Labor Relations Board, etc., etc. Now, as to immigration, probably a 65-year-old Mexican-American woman confronted me at the Warren Tea Party meeting, and she lectured me on how I better stop that illegal immigration because she and her family had gone through all the hoops 30 or 40 years ago, and she resented other people coming into this country illegally. I think now, I was 11 when we put a man on the moon. I think we can build and secure a fence that will stop the flow of illegal immigration through our southern borders, enforce the law, and remove the incentives and benefits that make them want to come across the border in the first place.
Mr. Glenn, thank you for your answer. Mr. Heckman, question number 5. List 2 specific plans to lower our national debt. State your position on illegal immigration.
Thank you. Again, this is a lot for 2 minutes, 2 broad areas, but balanced budget amendment, I so totally support the passage of appropriate balanced budget amendment. The Ryan plan is not perfect, but at least it deals as best we can for a starter with the entitlement problem that we must deal with to keep them solvent. We talked already about transforming, not just reforming welfare. We've done that, and it would be a good thing to do, but we needed to transform welfare, as I was describing before. We need to not just replace governmental support systems with nonprofits and they continue to just throw fish at people. We need to teach people to fish. We need to encourage people to grow. We need to mentor people. I am totally convinced that there are people inside our urban areas that are underemployed or unemployed. We need their ingenuity. We need their energy. This social enterprise idea that I mentioned before is huge. This is not a right versus left thing. This is an American thing. To get through the crisis that we face today is going to take all hands on deck. We cannot afford to have half of us working and the other half taking. It doesn't work that way. We believe everyone is created in the image of God and has incredible ability to produce wealth if they're turned loose. And so I love people and I love to turn people loose. We need to do that. I think the left is good at going the other direction of just assuming that some people are smart and some people aren't quite so smart, and the best we can do is just throw things at them and take care of them and keep them healthy until they die. I don't believe in that. We have to turn people loose and have the freedom to fail. People don't have the freedom to fail, they don't have the freedom to succeed either. As to immigration, English. To become legally, I love to have legal immigrants, but they must know English, and they have to pass a test in English about our constitutional system to become a citizen.
Mr. Bowman, question number 5. List 2 specific plans to lower our national debt. State your position on illegal immigration.
That's a handful. I incrementally reduce spending. I have notes because I'm going to get right through this. The first budget I vote on must be balanced, or I will reject it. And after that, it must not increase. Furthermore, the following budget must have enough spending cuts to allow payment on that year's interest of the debt, thereby ending growth of the debt. Subsequent budgets could include the same level of spending, while growth in the economy would allow for a surplus of revenue to help pay down the debt. Alternative forms of revenue to taxation should be investigated. Monetary reform will be required in order to make future debt acquisition much more difficult. 2, have policies that make aforementioned spending cuts possible. This includes ending Obamacare, transferring programs not enumerated in the Constitution to the states, phasing out the federal Social Security while fully meeting our obligations to those already dependent on it or heavily vested in it, ending the federal war on drugs, leaving these policies to the states, ending foreign aid and making foreign nations responsible for their own defense, and, immigration, here we go. Securing the border is a core function of the federal government. Illegal immigration is unfair to legal immigrants. Do I get time until the lights are on?
That's all right. You will. They'll come right back on.
I know, I'm penning a note. That being said, so if you immigrate illegally and get caught, you should go back to the end of the line. The legal immigrants have a right to be ahead of you. That being said, immigrants are rarely the problem. Government policy is the problem. Criminal activity along the border is largely supported by drug prohibition, and government handouts to immigrants who have no other means of support provide an incentive for immigrants who can't take care of themselves. I also advocate reforming legal immigration. Thank you. Bowman away.
Mr. Hoekstra, question number 5. List 2 specific plans to lower our national debt. State your position on illegal immigration.
Cut, cap, and balance. Illegal means illegal. Very simple. My position, if it's illegal, is illegal. Secure the border and have English as the official language of the United States for those who come here to make sure they assimilate. Now, if I can go back, let me answer a couple of questions. Okay. How many of you believe that China, a nation that manipulates its currency, cheats, steals our technology, comes and attacks our internet on Congress, at the Pentagon, and at corporations each and every day? How many of you believe that the great permanent normal trade relations with China has created thousands of jobs in Michigan? If Debbie Stabenow joined me in voting against permanent normal trade relations on China, I'd say, good vote, Debbie, because the China deal was a bad deal for America and Michigan. We hear all of this about drill, baby, drill. Guess who was making phone calls into the Senate trying to get the votes? We've tried it. Guess who was in the office of Tom DeWitt making phone calls to try to get Democrats to vote for it? Evil Jimmy Hoffa. Congress is about building coalitions and getting things done, not making enemies and shrinking your base each and every day. Guess who helped us almost defeat No Child Left Behind? How many of you like No Child Left Behind? I voted against it. Who almost helped me get it defeated? Barney Frank. I don't vote with him often, but when he helped me almost beat No Child Left Behind, I did go up to him afterward and say, Barney, thanks for your help. We almost got it done. Next time we agree, hopefully we will win. It's about building coalitions and getting things done, not making enemies and putting people in a peg and say, I can never work with you. Because if you never
Thank you, Mr. Hoekstra,
you'll never get anything done.